My wife said she's happy our baby died. My wife and I have been married for 4 years now. She had a very tough childhood. Her mother was bipolar, her unpredictable mood swings caused her to say a number of cruel things to my wife that I wouldn't say to my worst enemy. When she was 16, her mother tried to drive home drunk, but she crashed and passed away soon after. My wife lived with her grandparents afterward and things improved. They signed her up for therapy and she really blossomed. We met in college and started dating after being friends for a while. As our relationship became more serious, she told me about her past. I was touched she trusted me with that information, and I even attended a couple of her therapy sessions. When we discussed what we wanted in the future, I was honest that I really did want 1 or 2 kids, but told her I understood if she wanted to be child-free. We had a long heart-to-heart where she said that after years of therapy and recovery she wanted at least 1 child as well and felt ready to face possible parenthood with my support. Shortly after our wedding, we found out she was pregnant with a girl. We were both overjoyed, but still a bit nervous. She had a few extra sessions with her therapist that I attended. We both did all we could to prepare for our baby. We even had the nursery all set up with the name we picked out over the crib. It all went wrong when she was only about 2 weeks from giving birth. It was about 10 p.m. and she told me she was really craving a sandwich from her favorite fast food restaurant. I checked, but the one right next to us was closed. She seemed a bit disappointed, so I looked it up and saw the same fast food place had a location around a 20 minutes drive away that was still open. I was getting in the car to go get it when she came outside too and asked to join me. I asked if she was too tired, but she laughed and said since she was at home for maternal leave she felt a bit stir-crazy and would miss my company. She came with me, but a drunk driver T-boned us on the side she was sitting. It's like some sick cosmic joke. She seemed mostly okay at first and I thought we got lucky. Then she started to bleed. We got to the hospital and learned our daughter was dead. She was too delicate and the trauma was just too much for her to take. They were able to deliver her and let my wife and I hold her. That image still haunts me. She just looked like a regular, beautiful newborn, almost like she was just sleeping. Her face and body were covered by bruises from the impact. My wife was silent for hours and just held her. She wouldn't even look at me. The first time she even spoke was when I was calling her grandparents to come to the hospital. She asked for the phone, and once her grandma was on the line she asked her to go to our house and get a little pink box. The box had a couple of outfits we were considering bringing our daughter home in. Once she arrived, my wife laid out the 3 outfits we had packed. We had a hard time picking one, so we just brought all 3 so we could choose after the birth. My wife stared at them for a long time before picking a little pink onesie with daisies that she loved. She finally looked me in the eyes and said, "I think this one is the best. You can never go wrong with pink. It complements her hair beautifully." This made me break down. I'd never heard her talk that way before, so formal and almost robotic. I was trying to control myself, but my wife seemed to not even hear me. She just pulled out some of the possible headbands and baby bows we had picked and stared at them too. She picked the one that matched the onesie. She was in that dreamlike state for a few more hours until they eventually had to take our daughter away. She just completely broke and started to have a panic attack. I tried to help her, but it was almost like she couldn't see me. She ended up staying in a psychiatric hospital for quite a while after this. This was absolutely the worst part of my life. Every time I went to visit her I just fell deeper into my own grief. I have a large family that all rallied to support us as well as our friends. Even after she was checked out of the hospital she saw a therapist almost every day. I got individual therapy as well, along with couples counseling. Slowly, but surely things improved. She was still devastated, but eventually, she was able to only see her therapist about 3 times a week. I thought things were improving. She seemed to gain a small bit of herself back every day. Then my brother said something a week ago that I feel brought us back to square one all over again. We were at a family barbecue and having a nice time. My sister-in-law is 5 months pregnant and was chatting about what nursery they were getting for the baby. My brother then turned to us and said, "Hey, didn't you guys always want kids? It's been a couple of years since your daughter's stillbirth, so I think this is a great time to try again." I was ticked off by how he put it so bluntly and was about to tell him to F off. Then my wife said her response. Seemingly out of nowhere, she said she's glad our daughter passed away before even being officially born. She said she would never want to be pregnant again because the baby may survive this time. Everyone went dead silent. After a really awkward 10-second pause she began muttering and rambling to everyone. She talked about her mother. Apparently, when she was a little kid she and her mom were really close. As she grew, her mom became more and more cruel. She would scream about how she never should have had kids and that my wife was a disgusting, evil person. She said she was concerned about how her mom switched so easily. She's afraid that if our daughter grew, she would eventually come to hate and be cruel to her as well. She was relieved. She said our daughter will always be a perfect baby angel because she wasn't given enough time to make any mistakes or damage her. She was happy she had died. I love her so much that I'm now alright with having no kids as long as it's with her. She walked briskly to the car and asked if I could drive us home. I agreed. Once we were home I asked her about what she had said. She just shrugged and said she was being honest. Since this happened she's been 10x more distant and seems to be regressing. Our couples therapist had to move so we were looking for a new one. Once I brought it up again she just said it's not all that important and we're doing good plus trust each other. She's been going to one-on-one therapy but still won't talk to me. She just says her sessions are going fine. I'm very worried. She just won't talk to me. With the way she has been lately, I'm terrified she might do something drastic.